everyone. I hope you're all doing well on this fine Sunday. It has been rainy and cold in Scotland. Surprise face.
Same in Vancouver. Like, surprise.
It's like 80 degrees and blue skies here in the south.
Listen, I'd hate that. I hope you're all well. We are here for session 7 of our Dragon Age story, All Templars Are Bastards. We are very nearly at the part in our story where we get to really stick it to Templars, which is quite exciting. But first, we have some things to do. Before my cast here will introduce themselves and who they are playing, I'm going to read out the content warning. The world in which the game is set is one that is known to many. It is a world where there are a great many injustices and wrongs which need fought against. As such, there are topics that will come up which include oppression, fantasy racism, prejudices against mages, and imbalances of power, which often become violent. We recognize that in telling the story of oppression and genocide against groups of people reflects the many tragic atrocities occurring in our world as we speak. While we feel that the stories of the fight against oppressive rule are important to tell, the health and happiness of our viewers are also crucial. As such, it's important that you know the content of the story that we will be telling so that you have the agency to choose whether you want to watch along or not. So the group and I have discussed at great length our lines and veils when approaching this content, and active use of safety tools will be being used. We would urge you to also take care of your own comfort levels. And that being said, let us now tell the story of hope in dire times and the fight for justice. I am Emma, or Hamalu on the internet. I use she, they pronouns, and I am the storyteller for this game of heroic people. I will now let my players go around the table and just introduce themselves and who and what you are playing, please.
Hello, everyone. I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity on the internet. My pronouns are she, they. I am playing Genevieve Devereaux. Her pronouns are she, her. And yeah, she's excited to party.
Hey everybody, I am Val Drance on the internet. I use any and all pronouns, though today I wish to be referred to as she because I want to be a pretty girl. Today I play Theowyn, who uses she, her pronouns and is a nervous little elf mage.
Hey guys, I'm Alice, they, them pronouns. Today I'm playing Floraneus, who is a Tevinter necromancer that really needs the party town. More specifically, they need to just not be in their head for like 5 minutes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I am Mary. My pronouns are she, her. Today I am playing Eviana. Her pronouns are she, her as well. She's our little blood mage that really needs a break and to not feel all like, ooh, I exploded people, let's go party.
I don't know how she's not going to feel like that, but I hope she does.
Lay
Hi,
down.
I'm Ella. just repression. I'm Ella. My pronouns are she, her. I'm playing Maddie Hines. She is a spirit healer. Her pronouns are also she, her. She's a doctor. She's stressed. That's her whole vibe.
Stress doctor in the house. Excellent stuff. So these are our lovely players. So welcome in to our next session. I shall not be left to wander the drifting roads of the Fade, for there is no darkness nor death either in the Maker's light, and nothing that he has wrought shall be lost. Last session was emotionally turbulent, to say the least. The aftermath of the blood magic surge had everyone on edge, with the members of the Choir of the Silence closing ranks and contemplating the various ways they may need to escape any potential dire situations. Everyone slipped into well-practiced roles to ride out the situation, some being more successful than others, as the first mate is provoked to barely contained rage at the way that the peace talk seemed to be going. Captain Arthur, the large older Canary man, seemed to accept the situation and made some requests, the main being that both crews came together for an explanatory discussion about what had happened. These terms were agreed to, and eventually the meeting occurred. Despite the proposed plan for Flor, our Tevinter mage, taking the fall for the use of prohibited form of magic, Aviana steps up and speaks her truth. She explains that this magic is used to give her autonomy over her own body, a freedom from the condition that she's had from birth. In the moment, her desire to protect her friends caused the magic to surge out of her and ended the fight. Tension mounts as the large captain approaches Aviana before he extends a hand and commends her for her honesty, a quality he prizes above all else. With the understanding being met, the journey ahead should be plain sailing now. The following morning arrives with far more peace and comfort than the previous day. You are all free to rise and seek out breakfast, knowing that we have a couple days left, and it should be a breeze. No other excitement, so to speak. Is there anything specific you would like to achieve in this time? I'm happy to hear from all of you just about what you would be doing, and if there's anything specific you were hoping to achieve in those days. So we can go in the order of our intros. Genevieve, would you have been doing anything?
I think Genevieve mostly would have been looking towards the sky, just seeing if there's a word once things have calmed down. Yeah.
Nothing that seems to be finding your ship, certainly. It is harder to get news when you're aboard a ship. Ravens will often have specific places that they can go to, and that is likely the main mode of communication you would be receiving. So, for the time being, perhaps with ramping concern, you've still heard nothing. But you're able to putter around the ship, get to know the crew a little bit better, that sort of thing.
I don't think she would do that.
Oh.
She would not.
You make a point of avoiding the first mate.
Probably all of the crew, to be honest. But yes,
That's just like, I'm just gonna be low key.
we're done. Bargain broken.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely more focused on keeping an eye on the sky. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. Keep an eye on the sky.
At some point, I imagine when you were looking a little concerned and just out to sea, I think Griffin may have stopped off at you to just like do his thing of like, I heard a story once, and just goes into these stories that he's read or heard about excitement on the high seas.
Is he a particularly perceptive fellow?
Mm-hmm.
Or a poor sweet boy? Oh, okay, never mind.
He is, yeah. It's not. He's not. He doesn't ask about it. He doesn't make a point of like, "Hey, you still waiting on that thing?" or like, "Have you heard?" He doesn't ask about it, but he perhaps can see that you're looking particularly pensive, and so, without needing to know the why, he just starts talking so that you've got something to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he would, if he is particularly perceptive, especially with Genevieve and her abilities, it would be a very like, that smile where you're just like, yeah. So,
okay,
she's fine.
Very good. What about Theowen?
At some point closer to the evening, like after that first night, Theowen is going to approach Maddie.
Okay.
And I have a voice now, so I can speak. Maddie, do you want to be roommates while we're still on the boat?
Yeah, sure. What brought this on?
Well, it would just be nice to have somebody close that knows what they're doing just in case I get a visitor again.
Alrighty, sounds good to me.
And if you do roommate with her and bunk with her at some point, you would definitely notice that she's very restless, and does not get more than maybe like a single REM cycle of sleep a night.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, yeah, I really want to make a joke because it's always tempting to make a joke to be like, oh, this character snores. But actually, I think Maddie is the kind of person who lives on like 3 hours of sleep, like goes to bed way too late, gets up way too early, and then is a light sleeper the whole way through the night. She just always expects there to be some kind of emergency. And I think when Val asks for this, she wants to keep an eye on Val, right? Like she's obviously concerned.
Well, they would not me. I'm fine. I sleep.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, Theowen. But sorry, love.
Okay.
But I think but I think like if Maddie does notice that Theowen is sleeping really poorly, I mean she would want to do something about that. She would definitely like I mean, she'd just do general healing aura, just kind of I think she would do that before she even knew that Theowen was having trouble sleeping. She would just do that anyway. But like yeah, I guess like after it's happened more than one night in a row, she might just kind of like privately, so that Theowen isn't like put on blast by anyone, like just maybe before we leave the room in the morning, just be like, I can give you a herbal tea. I've got some oils, might help with that sleep.
Oils?
It's like smells on your pillow and stuff that you can, or things you can rub behind your ears, like temples, really like pulse points at places where your body is going to make like a lot of sweat and stuff, and it means that you'll like breathe in a certain strong smell. Sometimes like that kind of smell can help with sleep.
Is that going to upset Cloud?
No, there are specifically some herbs that are dangerous for dogs, and you are right to check, but I assure you that I also know which ones are not dangerous to dogs, and I promise that I will not give you anything that would potentially upset Cloud.
Okay, I guess I could put some deodorant on.
It's more like a kind of perfume. You just put it behind the backs of your ears and on your temples, and a few drops on your pillow.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I'll borrow some oils.
Okay. And if that doesn't work, we can maybe consider the teas. It's just like a cup of tea before bed, slightly stronger, and again, it'll just help you sleep.
I can function fairly well on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. So if I'm getting that, I'll be okay. Like I don't it's not that I can't get to sleep. I don't want to.
You won't like yourself.
Yeah.
When I was 12, kids in my dormitory started going missing. I grew up in my circle. I was brought there as a baby, and we lived in these huge rooms, maybe like 100, 200 kids, and people just started disappearing from their beds in the night. And there was some rumors about stuff, but this wasn't like that because they didn't come back. They just never came back, and no one really knew what was going on. And so I stopped wanting to fall asleep. Not because I was scared of demons, because I'm lucky in that the Fade has always been very friendly to me and full of friends, but I was afraid of something else, mostly Templars. And I was so scared that if I fell asleep too deeply, then they would take me next, and then I would never come back, and then everyone would be like, well, where did Maddie go? And then eventually they'd stop asking, and then eventually they'd forget my name.
I see.
What I learned is that I believe you that you can function on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. That's not so unusual. There are lots of people who function on very little sleep, and I would be a hypocrite if I was to tell you that you needed to sleep more hours than you do. But what I learned is when you stop yourself from sleeping like that, when you never get into a deep sleep like that, you start making mistakes in the waking world. Your mind is more vulnerable to everything in the waking world, from lies to demons. You make small mistakes, you can't see things, your vision gets worse, your reflexes are slower, and you are not as safe as you thought you were. Because it is a terrible and frightening balance. But if you don't get real deep sleep, we are about to go into a very dangerous situation. And if all of your reaction times are half a second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds slower than they usually are, that is going to put not only you in danger, but also everyone else. So I appreciate... I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to explain where I'm coming from.
I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't have left on this trip.
I think that maybe this trip is exactly what you needed.
She makes a face.
Yeah. I think Matty laughed,
like kind of like
in
a
the moment.
scrunchy nose, like I don't believe you in this moment. Thanks, but like this is the vibe she's not saying this. This is just the vibe that you're getting from this particular face that she is incapable of hiding in that moment. Because what her mask. She makes this face and is like, yeah, thanks, but that's not making me feel better. Like,
yeah. And I think
let's
like
put some
Maddie
oils
like
in my
laughs.
armpits.
Yeah. Maddie just laughs and says, "Look, it is my opinion that living life in a cage, whether it is made by someone else or one of your own creation, is less precious and valuable and important than living it freely. But that is my opinion, and you are very welcome to the right to yours."
Sometimes cages are there to keep things away from the one inside, though.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking this dog. Have a good night.
I think
oils in the pep talk.
yeah, like I think like Maddie like lets Theowen turn over and then just kind of sighs under her breath and says, "More for hope than for Theowen. And we've never found a cage that can keep out a demon."
Woof.
Yeah.
That's the dog that said that.
Hope gives you
Yeah, that's the
dog goes wolf.
I was just imagining that Cloud just suddenly looked up and started talking like a human person. It was like a really surreal moment of like,
oh my god,
are you asleep or are you awake?
Is it the weirdest thing we've ever seen? No.
Well, no.
No.
Hope will give you reassurances, Matty, that they are going to keep just care and a lookout for your friend while they sleep. Because they don't need sleep, so they're like, I got this. I'll stand guard. Okay. Very good. Floor, is there anything in these couple of days that you plan on trying to achieve?
I think Floor is trying to keep a lower profile from the crew, but also B, probably giving Reagan and Griffin a run for their money on shadowing Aviana.
Yep. That's fair.
Because it's not that she doesn't trust these people. She just also does not trust these people, and they are not going to let Aviana be alone any more than Aviana really, really insists on being.
Yeah. You guys can take shifts.
They like have to tap. They all tap out one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Very good. Aviana, on that note, you are very effectively shadowed almost all the time. Even when you're sleeping at night, even when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go to bed, we're all going to bed, we're all going to go to sleep. You share a room with Griffin. So he keeps an eye on you until he knows that you're asleep. How does that?
Yeah. She's it's not a bad thing. She's very appreciative of what they're doing. But also she may be clinging to Floor a little bit because she really just wants Griffin to forget about the deal that they made. So she'll be like, let's go to the top deck, Floor. Let's go look at the pretty birds in the sky, and like just absolute like trying to do things to avoid. And I also think at this point in time, while she's so appreciative that the ship is more accepting, she's having a hard time accepting things herself. And so I think
Yes.
she's kind of going through it right now of let's keep our hands busy. Let's always be doing something. Do people need help making dinner? I'll help make dinner. Do people need help cleaning something? She's just working herself probably a little too hard.
Yeah.
How obviously is Aviana avoiding Griffin, though, and Reagan?
So obvious. It is yeah, it's obvious. She's trying to play it off as just oh, it's a mage thing. We just need to do mage stuff. And hopefully that excuse works. But I doubt it's flying very well with Floor.
Floor, you may
No.
also notice that, like, if Griffin is like, so, like, he's trying to start conversations with Aviana. Aviana's like, anyway, I need to go. Sorry, we need to go and eat, or I should do, like, it just cuts off. You would notice it happening, sure.
There's definitely a point where. So, are you having trouble picking between the two?
Oh, I'm. Oh no, that's not it. It is more so a deal that I was not willing to uphold. Um, I may have gotten Griffin to go tell someone about how he feels about them, and said I would do the same thing, except for I just am terrified of saying those words out loud, especially after fiasco that happened a few days ago. So,
I mean, after outing yourself to an entire ship, that kind of conversation should be pretty easy.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, the blood mage thing, easy. That fine. It like at least I knew there was a way out, one way or another.
So, what, Aviana, whatever conversation you're trying to avoid.
I what if I'm wrong on it and I'm terrible at picking up on feelings of things. I don't know how to do it. Cats are wonderful things. I can just have a bunch of cats. And
Alice had to break there for a second.
What a mood.
yeah, I like cats. That's
And what if he likes cats too? And all you're doing is avoiding a conversation where the two of you have a mutual interest. And we go into a Templar stronghold in days. And something happens and neither of you say anything. think you'll have more regrets on that, Aviana.
Yeah, I will have regrets. How about okay, look. We're going to Wycombe. There's liquor in Wycombe. If I'm drunk, I can handle the conversation better. Because this won't get in the way of that. So, it's like I could just put my foot in my mouth. What if I say something terrible and then I ruin everything and then it's just awful for the entire group. And
I think you worry far too much, considering how eloquent you were the other night. B, if something does go wrong, we can throw him off of a port.
Can't throw him off the port. And she's just gonna like walk away in like the stress worry mode of like mumbling under her breath while trying to either like I don't know if we're on the deck. She's folding up a net or something, trying to like busy herself of mumbling. Can't throw him off the port. That is the worst. No, we could never do that. Just constantly busy.
I will say, if you don't make it happen in Wycombe, I will lock the two of you in a room together, and I do know how to seal it off.
Okay. All right. Wycombe it is. Wycombe it is. Okay. And she'll just go about the rest of her day, totally not over obsessing over any of this. Just
Flora would definitely tap out early with Reagan.
Yeah, I would also like to think that to ramp up how stressed you are about this, given that you keep giving both of the boys cold shoulders, they have started sitting on deck together talking more, and you're not sure what they're talking about, which may make you more stressed.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
They're like, well, guess we've got time on our hands. So you know, Wycombe it is. Wonderful stuff. Finally, Matty, is there anything that you are doing or trying to achieve in these couple of days?
I mean, I want to talk to the elf kids. I would like to do that. Other than that, I am, providing medicine as much as I can to anyone who wants it. I mean, hey, listen, I don't know that I'll necessarily succeed, but I want to see if I notice that something's up with Jen, because I think I do quite obsessively like watch over this particular clutch of people. And I'm like, okay, Flora and Aviana are fine. They're kind of following each other around. I'm sleeping in the same room as Theowen, so I can keep an eye on them, like on her, like. So the only person who I don't have like a good eye on is Jen, and also we've specifically established that Jen is being antisocial and looking out mournfully to sea. So I want to roll to see if I notice that.
Please do.
Okay, hold on. Mournfully. Hold
I
on.
just think pensive. It is in the perception wheelhouse. If you have a focus that you feel applies to it, feel free to do so. If not, it is just perception. It could be empathy. It could be
real bad.
A sight thing. You know. The dice like to tell a story.
I mean, that's a 12.
Jen has rolled lower.
Yeah.
Is there a deception feature in Dragon Age TTRPG? What might that be?
So it is deception, and it's in the communication section. So if you can click on the deception roll for me,
I actually don't have deception, so it's pure communication for me. 15. Good luck.
Yeah. She's fine. I think she's fine. She's just being your legion. It's whatever.
Yeah. I'll just do a hair flick from every now and then. Like, I'm good, thank you.
One thing that I will say that is at least easy, because it would be weird not to notice this. So the exact wise, the demeanor, the emotions that seem to be on, or noticing Griffin's distraction technique. I guess the one thing that is notable is just the fact that Jen is being antisocial. This is a very communicative person who is not communicating very much. But aside from that, Yeah, it's they're being a little aloof. Our lesions, man, they're good game
so
face. It's the game face.
yeah, no, like I think therefore the conclusion Matty comes to is not that she's concerned, it's that Jen is up to something, and so she spends like the entire
Valid.
rest of the voyage extremely suspicious of Genevieve, expecting like either some kind of prank, or like she's gonna do something in Wycombe, or like we need to figure out, is she gonna like
Yeah.
set off some bombs, or like what is she doing, or is she gonna be like, you know, doing some weird romantic stuff, or is she gonna be like messing with the crew? So Maddie is like obsessively like kind of like
Checking things.
tailing Jen, but not in like a concerned way, in a like, I know you're up to something, like I know that you're up to something, you're gonna do something terrible, I know that you're gonna do some Orlesian fuckery before we
Yeah.
get off this boat.
This is perfect because I think this is going to tee up beautifully. You are following Jen around, and in order to avoid a lot of the crew, it's not going to spend massive amounts of time on deck because that's where a lot of them are. And so maybe you're like trying to do the like super sneaky, quietly down the stairs, following where they're going. And it is on a journey where you are following them and they seem to dip into their room, that you suddenly someone comes around a corner and like there's a moment where you both almost bump into each other, and it is Asher, the elven mage that is aboard the ship, and they have a moment where like they kind of have a natural state of like deer in the headlight style, but the almost bumping into makes their eyes just go wide, and it's like pupils dilate in a oh god.
I mean, like as they do, Matty like literally responds with like, look, Genevieve, I was not doing, and I just think that I have every reason to be concerned about your behavior on this. Oh, you're not her. Hi, kiddo. You okay?
Hi,
It's okay.
I'm an adult.
Everything's okay.
Yep.
Apologies. I think of everyone as kind of a kid, but like,
Okay.
including my personal compatriots, I don't know if you've noticed the way they behave. I would call it childish, childlike. In particular, there's one Orlesian who I'm pretty sure is going to set off fireworks on the ship at some point. How are you? We haven't really had a chance to talk.
No. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Would you like to maybe sit down and have a cup of tea? Just chat? I feel like standing in the corridor, like someone's gonna yell at me for being in the way of like someone carrying something.
Tea. Okay. I was just going for some lunch, so yep, tea. And they just like whole body language like collapses in a little bit as they start to wander their way towards where the little dining area is. It's not really a dining room, it's just a space where things are like, mostly bolted down so that they don't fly over the place in a ship.
As someone who has sailed 700 miles on a tall ship, fun fact, you have all the non-stick mats and stuff, but if you have your plate, you can't glue your food to the plate, so you hold your plate still and the food just goes whee!
Still
anyway,
goes. Like a little like, hold the plate on you.
Maddie will... It's genuinely like, if you're trying to serve people food, it's a nightmare. Anyway, but as Maddie follows, she'll say, "Oh yeah, we should definitely get some lunch. I have a very good friend who frequently tells me off for missing meals." She is referring to Hope, and kind of like sends an apologetic feeling at Hope in her head as she does so, and follows them into the kind of canteen.
Missing meals is bad. You don't want to get lightheaded.
Yeah. No, I don't. Are you interested in medicine?
No. Well, I mean, it's useful, but I don't do it.
Do you study at all?
Not really. I can't read, so
You want to?
No. I'm okay. I've learned to do other things. Do you?
Do you want to learn to read?
I've tried, but it's a little difficult. When I'm reading when we're on the ship, when I try, it's like the letters move around a little, and it gets a bit confusing, and then I start feeling seasick, so I don't do it. But
Smart response. I do have some pills you can take for that.
oh, that's good actually. I just Regala just reads or like tells me stories, which is nice. So I guess I'm kind of getting the stories without having to read and get sick. Do you do medicine?
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm a spirit healer. So spirits of the Fade help me heal people.
Oh, so they're yours?
They're not mine. They're my friends. So I just, ever since I was really small, it was really easy for me to find friends in the Fade and talk to them and ask them to help me do magic that I couldn't do by myself.
They can be friendly. And
Yeah, they can.
lots of people find them scary.
People tend to find things that are strange or confusing to them frightening, but that doesn't mean that they are.
Yeah. Some of them are scary though.
That is true.
Have you had to fight a demon before?
Yes, several times. Have you?
Sort of. I didn't fight them, but I've been attacked by one before.
I'm sorry, that sounds frightening.
Yeah. What your friend did the other day was frightening.
Yeah, it was.
But
I wasn't expecting it. I've only ever seen her use that for healing. Sorry.
she seems like a good person though.
She is very good.
I feel bad that she has to go through what she does.
Me too. But I feel bad that you had to go through what you did. I don't even really know what it was, but I am aware of the existence of Tevinter.
Their body language just closes in slightly. Yeah, things are It's an evil place. You have some in your group.
Yeah. They're defectors, which is novel and refreshing. They chose to leave a life of safety and luxury and wealth to live and be hunted and hated by not only the people who could have been their allies in a different life, but also their countrymen. They decided to exile themselves out of sheer moral conscience, as far as I can tell.
Are they still being hunted?
I suspect so, although I doubt it is as intensely as an escapee might be. But I don't imagine that there are happy reunions in their future.
The bad people from that place don't forget so easily.
Yeah. The bad people from here don't either. But I think Flora is capable of looking after themselves. And honestly, I worry that if they were ever to believe that the damage that might befall them would befall anyone else, they would just walk out into the desert and let the fire consume them before it had any collateral damage.
They have sad eyes.
Yeah, they do.
Well, then it is good that they are free of that place, then. Do you think
Yeah, I think so.
they...
I think... No, you go.
Do you think they had slaves?
I don't know. I don't believe that as an adult, Flor would have owned slaves for long by choice. As in, I don't know, I suppose there's a possibility that if the family they were born into had slaves, that when they came of age, they would have inherited them. But I doubt that that would have been a situation they were comfortable with. Of course, I'm making a lot of assumptions. I have made a point of not getting to know them. I am trying to build their character. I don't know how much it's really working. I think I'm a little too hard on them. And they've done a lot in recent days to remind me that they are a brave and kind person, really.
Why are you hard on them?
Because they are from a country that keeps slaves. And they had a position of power and wealth. And they left their comfort to be here and live like this. And I think that no matter how hard they imagined what this would feel like, they did not know. And they do not know. And I envy them and the freedom and power that they enjoyed with however many conditions. And I pity them. And I do not think that most of my strong feelings about them are actually their fault or their responsibility, and so I avoid them.
I have felt a little uneasy too. But I wouldn't want them feeling bad about that. It's not easy. And I know that people are scared of mages too. And we're not all responsible for the actions of the bad ones. Yeah.
Have you heard of the concept of moral injury?
No.
It's okay. It's the fact that when you are made to do a bad thing, it hurts. When you are made to do something you know is bad, it's painful. Like if someone forces you to hurt someone, that hurts you too. The guilt and the shame and the self-hatred. And I suspect that Floor carries a lot of that around.
Yeah. They probably do. Thank you for talking to me.
It is my pleasure.
I don't think I'm easy to talk to.
I think you are.
I find talking a little difficult.
That's okay.
I'm
grateful that... Oh, sorry.
No. I wasn't allowed to talk. And so I find it quite difficult to do. Because it makes me stressed, and I don't like to get stressed. It's bad for mages to be stressed, so I prefer quiet. Just being in safe spaces.
Quiet is good.
But your friend, the one I think probably is the one that tells you off for not eating, and you can see a change coming over them, a little more expressive in their emotions, in their face. It's easier to talk to them because I don't really actually have to talk. It's all just in your head. So when I...
Like...
Yeah, no crying.
I just think like Maddie definitely like at that like kind of brings hope forward a bit.
It was my first friend was a spirit.
Really?
They would keep me company.
Mine too.
Was it your current friend?
It wasn't Hope.
Oh.
It was, their name was Longing. I knew them when I was very small. And I think that they looked like what I think my mother would have looked like. And they were very kind to me. What was your friend like?
They looked like a child, about the age I was, and we used to play games. It was nice. And sometimes, if I didn't want to talk, they didn't make me, but they used to just be nearby, so that if I needed to shut things out, they were there helping me do it. It was nice.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. I don't do it very often at the moment
Do you
because...
want some? Oh,
Oh, sure.
no, you go on.
I don't do it very often at the moment because spirits can make Rochelle, the other mage, she gets a little nervous about them. So I don't tend to do it that much. But I have friends here on the crew now, like real friends. So I don't suppose I need it as much.
Well, the Fade is timeless, and so are its denizens. They aren't going anywhere. They'll be there for you when you need them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you want... You're welcome. Do you want to know how I met Hope?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a sad story, but it has a happy ending. A long time ago, I fell in love with a woman. She wasn't a mage. She was Orlesian. And I really thought that she was a good apple in a bad batch. And I felt so lucky and so powerful. And I was wrong. And she made two of my friends tranquil. Do you know what that is? The rite of tranquility?
I've heard about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I trusted her. There's a thing that Templars can do. What they claim is not a spell, called silence. They take away your magic, but they also make you quiet. You can't speak. You literally can't speak. And I remember being on my knees and screaming. And I don't know, I wonder if through magic you've had a similar experience, but I could feel the air coming out of my throat and no sound. And that is a horrible thing to feel. And in that moment, I think, was the closest I've ever come to completely giving myself over to a monster and just letting it all go. Because I was so angry and so betrayed and so guilty and ashamed, and I felt so stupid. And then I found Hope. And Hope came to me in that moment, in the silence, when I couldn't speak. And when I wanted to just rip those people apart, Hope surrounded me with the idea that I could pour all of that fury into stopping it from happening again instead of just destroying myself. And that would be a far better and sweeter vengeance.
I'm very sorry that happened.
That is okay, it was my own fault.
No. I don't think that's your own fault. You're not responsible for other people's cruelty. I learned that the hard way too. Thank you for sharing. If I don't know if would you want to be my friend?
Yes, I would love to. And I think, thanks to Hope, I should be able to find you in the Fade even when we're apart.
Yeah, I think I can speak to Hope too. Maybe pass messages on. If you want.
I would love that.
Okay. Well, oh, I should go heat up some water for the tea. And they'll go over and put their hands underneath the teapot and use magic. Perhaps from what little bits you've maybe been able to figure out that there was definitely a mage helping power certain aspects of the ship, and seeing the way that they're handling the heat underneath this kettle, that elemental kind of magics and primal stuff is their bag. And they'll heat it up. Well, and I'll get us some lunch. There's some nice treats on here that only I'm allowed to have. The captain tells people off when they eat it. But I'll share it with you.
Well, I feel honored. Thank you.
Stories like that, telling them, reliving things. Having a little treat after makes it feel better, I think. Oh yeah. So they'll go off and pull out a few things. There is some candies that definitely age and travel well, and then probably some baklava as well, and a few other little bits and pieces that they pull out. It's definitely better than the fare. Like, the food hasn't been terrible on the ship, but these things are extra special little treats, and you're able to spend a nice little lunch with Asher, your new friend. I will.
This is delightful. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say,
Maddie has a massive sweet tooth, so she's very
oh,
happy about
well,
it.
there you go. So listen, these are special treats. Even if you weren't on a boat, these are quite rare little treats that are not always available in Kirkwall. So you're able to have a nice little afternoon. I will come back to check in if anyone has any other order of business while I go and let this cat out, because he is desperately madly trying to get out. Okay. Come on. The monster. Okay. Unless there is anything else people want to be doing specifically, you will be seeing out these couple of days. is there anything else anybody would want to do, achieve, or say before we dock?
I would just also like to assume that Craig might be a little sad that he does not get alone time with Theowen right now, since she's asked Maddie to be the roommate.
Yep. He's kind of sitting on his own. Certainly the first day he's wondering about, not sure what to do with himself. By the second day, he is now also taken up post, so it is Reagan and Griffin and Craig now. Sitting. Yeah. Talking, and you don't know what they're saying. Maybe they're just putting the worlds to right. But they're frequently seen conversing, and if anyone gets any closer to them, they get quiet and maybe change the subject.
They just all stop like at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Little
love
Lonely
it.
Hearts Club.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
it. That's just my comment. There's nothing else.
I think that Aviana would be trying to give Theowen some space, because I know that she was really uncomfortable when she found out that Aviana
Yeah.
was a blood mage. So
Yep.
she's trying to respect that and work with the group, but try to keep everything as comfortable. I think towards
She's
the end.
honestly just more offended about the vocabulary comment than anything else still.
Okay, that's good. That's
Like,
good.
you know what?
Give the blood mate.
Like, she understands, like, she's like, okay, so you use magic as a mobility aid. That's actually kind of cool. But I can't read very well, and that was mean.
I definitely think that Eviana at some point on the ship would come over and apologize, and she'd probably bring over some extra cookies and things she brought for the trip and be like, peace offering of treats. But she'll just kind of knock on the cabin door and very
Yeah.
light.
I'll answer it. Oh, hi.
Hi.
How are you? How are you? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Good. I found some stuff to make up some extra cookies and figured maybe we
Oh.
could share a few.
What kind of cookies?
Well, I actually packed some extra like cinnamon, nutmeg, and all that kind of stuff to make some like snickerdoodles. And there's
Oh.
some lemon ones from back when we were
Okay,
in Kirkwall.
sure. Did you bring any milk with it, or is it just the cookies?
Milk's a little bit harder to
We didn't take a goat with us.
I don't think that was. I did miss that on the list. I will do better about that next time.
Like, no, it's fine. I prefer like cow's milk, but goats are just easier on a ship, I'd assume, and they'll also just eat your garbage, so they're easier to just keep up. No. Thanks for the cookies.
I just wanted to apologize.
Oh. Okay.
What I said was ignorant, and I will do better.
Apology accepted. And she holds up Cloud. You may pet the dog.
She'll go and like give Cloud some cookies
Just
and
a big blue tongue like hanging out. Like, cool. But don't give him any cookies.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Just I don't think cinnamon is gonna be good for him.
Yeah, probably not. Oh, God, he's so cute. And she just kind of gives scritchies and catches up with Theowen.
Literally the only boy giving me attention the last couple of days.
Aviana just, well, I'm sure there's another person that would want to do that. That is currently chatting up on the upper deck with the other people. So
Yeah, what's going on with that? Have
I
you
don't know,
noticed,
and
like, the men have congregated
yeah, I
in
think
one space? Like,
it's a little scary.
I mean, like, you know, it's fine because I think that, like, men deserve safe spaces too, but like with each other. But at the same time, it's just kind of weird because normally, like, every boy on this ship has like a girl that they just talk to, like, and suddenly they're talking to each other. Is there a plot? Like, are they gonna throw a party? What's happening?
That is what I'm worried about.
A
The
party?
plotting more so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the plot is?
I might know what one of them is trying to do. The other ones, I'm not quite so sure.
Oh, tell me, what's the other one trying to do? And which one is it? I'm really bored. I need to know.
Okay. I may have made a really stupid bet. I made a really stupid bet.
Gambling is not healthy.
Well, it wasn't so much gambling as a I'll do this if you do, and then I just crossed my fingers behind my back.
Okay. And like she just stops and like, why are you being vague? Why aren't you like actually actively gossiping with me? I don't understand. I need details. I don't understand what's happening.
She's going to stand up, peek outside the cabin, like just like making sure there's
Close the
nobody
door.
listening. Shuts the door, scurries over.
Okay.
Okay.
Sits down on the bed like with the dog. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so Griffin, super into Jen. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I said I would go tell Reagan things I had feelings, and if Griffin told Jen, and I crossed my fingers behind my back because I am not.
Because you haven't told Reagan that you have a crush?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Complicated.
It's outdated?
Complicated.
Complicated? Okay.
More so.
Do you have like multiple crushes? Is that why?
No. This is a rumor that is getting so much steam as of late.
Okay.
No, it's. I have a hard time with love and relationships and things like that. It's noble stupidity bullshit.
I understand. Can you wait here for a second?
Yes.
Okay, I have to like I have very rancid farts and I don't want to be in this room when it happens, so please hold this dog and I will be right back.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And she like gives you the dog and she leaves and she immediately goes to Reagan.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you head upstairs and you can see three of them are sitting. They've like pushed together some like square crates and are sat atop them. Craig is sitting there like dangling his leggies.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny.
He's finding his sea legs by not having his legs actually on the
sea legs.
Yeah, they will quieten down a little bit as you kind of approach. Craig gives you the little small hand
Craig,
wave.
Griffin, Reagan.
Yeah.
And I hand Reagan a piece of paper, like folded.
Okay.
And he and when he opens it up, there's just like, do you like Aviana with like check yes or no? So I don't say it out loud for the sake of privacy.
Yeah. He's gonna look at it and frown a little bit, and then you see Griffin like leaning over, does a big snort laugh, and then is like proper like guffaw laughing at the moment, like nearly falling off the crate laughing. He's just like, am I meant to mark this?
You have to check one.
I have nothing
That's
to
how
write.
it works.
I don't. Do you have?
I hand it to him. Handling this like a proper teenager.
Yeah. Craig is like fascinated. Like, is this how people do things? And we'll mark and fold it back up and hand it over to you.
I don't look at it,
Uh-huh.
and then I go back to my room. It's like, sorry about that. I got distracted on the way back from passing gas. Reagan wanted me to give you this. And the note to you.
There's just this older sibling look of just, don't you dare. And then seeing the paper, oh, you did.
There is just this shit-eating little sister grin on her face. Like, I did.
I will take the paper and die slowly as she opens it.
It is in fact checked on the yes.
Is it everything that you hoped and dreamed it would be?
Yes, and all the more complicated.
It's literally checked off. Like, how is it complicated? It's literally like that is as black and white as it gets.
Yes, how, oh my goodness.
What's the complicated part? I don't understand.
It's I was planning on talking, and then this just happened, and it's just a lot, and I'm trying
It
to come
didn't
with.
sound like you were going to talk about it. Like, that's.
Well, yeah,
It
that was
sounded
the
like you were
plan, is not
avoiding
to
the
talk about it
conversation.
until I had to, and then this happened, and I'm
now you have to.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah, I did you a
why the
favor.
complication exists.
Mhm.
Oh, God. It's fine. It's not that. I just have personal problems with. Look, I was stuck in a castle for years because my body was not great for marriage
Mhm.
prospects, and I couldn't walk, and my parents were worried about my prospects. So
Mhm.
it's hard for me to do relationship-y things because I have that echoing in the back of my head constantly.
Well, now you can. But now, it's all over with. I mean, it's not over with, but like, it's the step has been taken, and that's why you have friends to help you with those steps, even when you think you can't make them. The step has been made, and now guess what? Your crush has a crush on you, and now y'all can go into into a privately secure place and talk about it, or out in the open for everyone to see, whatever you want.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the cookies. They really inspired me.
There's
Yeah,
just the
regrets.
sigh and a grabbing of a cookie and just eating a cookie at this point of just, I
feel
deserve every bit of this.
Yeah.
It is coming to grips with the actions and the consequences.
Listen, like, here's like the thing. Theowen just knows that like you can always like get away with something if you're like, I have to go flatulate or poop. Like, no one's gonna stop you. So like, here she is.
No, that was perfect.
Playing matchmaker.
Chef's kiss. Just
Oh. There may well be some consequences for those actions. We'll find out. You don't have to worry about dealing with it too much right now, because the time after this particular conversation is mostly crew getting busy and members of the choir who are kind of joining in to get ready to dock the following day. About mid-morning, we are pulling into dock at Wycombe Party City, which is pretty exciting. It is the destination you guys are heading to. It whether you're filled with excitement or nerves about the upcoming job that you have to do remains to be seen. But it's a fairly sizable place. Not quite the same or style of scale that Kirkwall has, even if it is technically speaking the same size population-wise. Kirkwall has such a commanding presence, given that when you come in, you have the huge docks with the crying figures and the chains everywhere, and it's designed to feel imposing. It's like Gothic architecture. You're meant to feel intimidated by this, and Kirkwall definitely gives off those vibes. Here, it feels a bit more warm and welcoming, even just as you are kind of pulling in. Your ship is moving past and you can see people even just at the dock side, and there's, you know, taverns and places that are at the dock to serve the people who are coming off of boats or getting ready to head off. And the revelry is already felt. It is only mid-morning, but some people clearly are like ready to go. We are day drinking, everyone. And that interesting mix of smells that you get when you pull into a town that has a port like this, in that you get the smell of the sea air. There is the smell of fish, which is unmistakable. There are areas where the water is maybe slightly more stagnant in certain sections, and the street food is definitely wafting as well. It's an assault on a few of the senses, shall we say. And for many people, or
I've
maybe
been to
just
New
Craig,
Orleans, I understand.
yes, it may just be Craig is looking really excited at being on like dry land that's not moving around. He is excited about that. And it is also an opportunity to say your goodbyes to the crew. It seems that they're going to linger here for a few days just to see if they're going to pick up any other work. And some of them give nice, warm goodbyes. Others seem to be giving you all, you know, a look. Not unfriendly, but some of you definitely get this. I mean, mostly it's just first mate Rashala and Genevieve, let's be real. You were being tracked as you head off this ship. But you are in Wycombe, everyone. So there is likely things that you are going to want to achieve here, perhaps individually, certainly things as a group. You know that your destination is not in the city of Wycombe, it is out on the outskirts, so you'll have a little bit of a journey to get there. And the exact nature of what you plan on doing when you get there, perhaps we need to finalize and pin things down, and maybe just shop around a little bit in Wycombe to get some ideas. But as you do, I think we will actually pull into break now because it feels like a good time. We're just a smidge, a couple of minutes, a little 50 early, but we are going to be taking 10 minutes to have a break to hydrate, stretch leggies. Recommend that you guys do as well. And we will see you back here in Party City. See you in 10.
Standing up prevents blood clots.
Don't die.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are rested and hydrated and stretched our leggies and all that wonderful stuff. I hope you also got yourself a little rest. We are back at it again, and we arrived in Party City, Wycombe, which, despite the fact that it does not have the population of, say, Antibes City, which often people would be like, yeah, that's surely Party City, or like all of Orlais. And yet, the people of Wycombe drink more Antivan brandy than the whole of Orlais put together. I just, to frame in your mind these things that are true about Wycombe. And it's in the canon, and I love that for them. So it feels unassuming. You maybe haven't ever put Wycombe, in your thoughts before, although Genevieve got a lengthy story about its involvement in the Fourth Blight. You were told thusly by your friend who loves to tell stories about the Grey Wardens because he's a fanboy. But we are here now. You are off the boat. As mentioned previously, some of your crew are definitely more happy than others at being able to be on dry land and steady ground. That assault of the senses is there. There is a lot of sound going on. It's quite a lot to take in, and you're all very will be busy people. Now, you have your heist in mind. There's not necessarily it has to be done exactly by this hour of this day. You get the opportunity to plan a little bit as long as it happens. So I would like to know, we can go around the table and get a bit of a feel for people's plans, either as a collective or individually. We can address all of them, of what you're going to do now that you are here in Wycombe. Either personal things that you need to achieve, things that you need to check in on, or things that you need to try and acquire. I'm not saying that you should try and acquire some goats for being a part of your plan, but it feels like maybe thematically it would be quite entertaining. You don't actually have to, and yet there is probably a goat seller here somewhere. So we can go as ever in the order of our intros of what you would like to achieve first. There may be a few things, but what are you looking to do as you get into the city?
So first thing Jen would do is definitely make sure we have a place to stay. Barter to make sure we're safe. After that, as far as plans, okay, so she actually is going to go look for goats for a very specific reason. Mostly she's actually just trying to get a feel for Wycombe and then the outskirts of Wycombe. Like, what's normal? Would it be normal to have a literal herd of goats just freaking out, going meh, and then distract people? Like, that's weird enough to go, hey, we should probably look at that. Leave, go check things out while we go around the back, that kind of stuff. So first thing, are we safe? Do we have a place to rest? Second thing, what's normal here? And third thing, who are like the major players? And then who's like a minor lord?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We will do a series of rolls for that when I get around. I'm going to do like it's almost like World of Darkness turn-based order. We'll hear what everyone's intentions are, and then we'll do them in the order of what makes sense to line things up. Noted. Excellent. What is Theowen planning to do?
Well, thing is that when Theowen gets off the ship, and Wycombe just hits her in the face, and there are people, and there are, like, despite there not being as many people as some places, Theowen is still not used to being around a lot of people. And there is, like, that instant, like, tenseness and stiffness of, like, oh, God, this would be bad if it got really bad sort of moment, right? And so she's going to be probably with Jen for, like, a hot second with that whole, like, let's find a safe place to stay, because I think she would want to go there immediately to get herself regulated before doing anything else. And then she will volunteer to make the cookies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Because you've become a master baker now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah.
Established. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Okay. What about Flora?
Flora has probably decided to find where the mages hide out in the city. Mostly because that's going to be probably where like the font of information is regarding lyrium, how lyrium's kind of getting through the city, if at all. Possibly trying to see if anyone in the mage underground or the underground in general would have access to like a castle schematic for the stronghold or secret information on where they put the lyrium in the walls or something.
Love that. Okay. Sensible plans. What about Aviana?
So I think Aviana is definitely going to be trying to go to the marketplace, get what she needs, and also I'm trying to remember as far as the plan works. Are we needing to establish a noble here, or where are we needing to establish the noble? Exactly. Because if we need to start establishing a noble in town, she can start doing that as well. But I don't know. I can't. Mary can't remember. Aviana would, but I can't of when we need to establish the noble getting people out or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That is something that you guys, once you find your place to stay and you're somewhere where you feel like you're safe, you guys can just kind of go over finer details like that so that people can go and enact what they need. Absolutely. And what about Matty?
I think Matty finds like either a very dark alley or a sewer, somewhere very, very dark and out of the way and away from everyone, and then like sits on the filthy ground, crosses her legs, and goes into like a 24-hour meditation where basically she's gonna go walk in the Fade around this place. You know how like the Fade will hold like kind of memories of like battles and stuff that have been there.
Yeah.
She's gonna wander around and just see if there's any spirits that can give her some information on like, hey, there's like a weak point in the castle and you can come in through a pipe or something. But she's basically gonna be kind of unconscious and also glowing whilst this happens, so she is in a sewer so that no one will see her doing it.
Okay.
You could have just waited till we got a room, girl. You didn't have to
Yeah.
go sit in the sewer.
Yep. No, like this is one of the many things I think about Maddie that is wildly dysfunctional is she'll just turn up smelling like shit and she won't even see a problem with that. She'll just be like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
I was busy.
Man.
Very good. Okay. So, first order of business is seeking out a place to stay. It seems that there are a couple of larger inns that seems to see fairly frequent travel for people, and you can get larger rooms there. So you can pay either a higher price for a private room or a lower price to just stay in the everyone's kind of bunking in together, but you would be with strangers. But you guys definitely carry enough coin to not have to worry about getting your little private space. It is up to you if you want to get one of those larger rooms for everyone to stay in, or if you want to get a few for people if anyone is not comfortable sharing with others. Whatever it makes you most comfy, but those things are easy enough to achieve, and you're able to get yourself a little private space where at least you lot can get together and just clarify a few things for those who would need it, and maybe strategize about who and how you can achieve this. So the scene is all of yours as you start to put down the heavier stuff that you're carrying so you don't have to go around with your pack. You know, we all love it when you finally get to the hotel when you arrive and you're like, I'm going to leave all my stuff so that I can go and explore. So after offloading, you are able to just sit and strategize together as a group.
I'm
Okay.
assuming the Orlesian has a plan.
So if we can find some goats and
What-
set them
what
up.
are you talking about? Okay, the last couple of weeks, you have been up to something. Like, you are so obvious. And listen, Genevieve, I understand. Well, you know what? No, I don't understand. Like, I don't want to know what Orlesian nonsense you want to do with, like, social politics and nobility stuff here. We don't need any goats or fireworks or weird shoes. Okay?
But
I'm a little curious about the
But
goats.
why
Why are we against pretty shoes?
and why are we against goats?
So let me start here. Who knows why comes the best?
I've only read about it in books, I'm going to be honest.
That
You
was
can
my
see-
point. So
Griffin's like,
Griffin,
like,
no, okay.
no.
My dear current Wycombe.
Yep.
There might be a distinction. It might be the same. I do not know. So this was my idea. The thing is, we need how do you say guerrilla tactics, right? Because these people can see you like a beacon in the dark, right? And there are a few of us, and she motions to literally all the non-magic people and herself, who don't do that. We don't, well, shiny armor aside, that can be covered. But we need to understand how, what would be disturbing enough for them, right? So if you're in your stronghold and you're like, I'm a big Templar and I'm so scary and I'm going to protect everything, and you hear really horrible screeching outside. Have you ever heard goats screech? They're so
It is
loud.
terrifying. It
It's
sounds like
horrible.
babies dying.
Absolutely. And then at night, you don't expect that, right? Unless it's like a wolf and they're out there and they're going to attack the goats. Would that be scary enough to distract a bunch of Templars who have never heard it before, or they know that that's bad? See, the goats is honestly just funny, but something that would make them turn their gaze. So maybe they will not notice a bunch of stars in the night, right? That is my point, is to find first what would be maybe superstitious about the area. What can we plague on that they will be looking the other way?
Look at
Which
Craig.
is what I'm good at.
Yeah, look at Craig. Do you know what the Templars are suspicious about? Are they scared of screaming goats?
Oh, Wycombe? Is there anything about Wycombe?
Yeah.
Wycombe I'm not sure about, but Templars, mages and demons are a pretty solid shout. Maybe if you just make, because like, I mean, a screaming goat is a little demonic.
Have you ever seen their
now
eyes?
imagine 20 of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then the square pupils. Does not seem
Yeah,
like
if we can
any-
like get something that's glowing and like attach it to the back of the goat so that like all they see is like these floating lights in the dark and the
and
screaming.
then
goat.
Does
out
anybody
in
just know how to
distance.
make goats glow? Like we can just like
Now,
I mean, we could dose them with lyrium.
You do all each have a glowstone that Hari gave you.
that is true.
also, now I don't particularly want to do this, but I do have asked Reagan before we left. I do have 2 Deathroot extracts, which make you hallucinate. Now, it seems a little mean to do this to the gods, so then they scream louder, or whatever they might do. However, we may need it to escape or anything. I don't know. But my original plan was, how do we distract them, and then how do we sneak in, and if shit hits the proverbial fan, we use that to get out.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but as a medical professional, I guess it is worth noting that common side effects of lyrium poisoning are hallucinations and paranoia. So if we did give a goat lyrium, it would probably get really scared and think that it was seeing big scary things. Of course, what I will also point out is that every Templar in that stronghold will be addicted to lyrium, so they are already prone to hallucinations and paranoia. They are very likely to see any unusual sensory input as a demon.
Is the lyrium gonna hurt the goats?
That
All
is my
natural.
concern. I'm
Probably.
not entirely sure the goat will survive lyrium. Lyrium is a
Yeah.
highly toxic substance.
Yeah,
We
it-
could also just use something phosphorescent on its coat.
There's usually things in the rivers that glow, like the algae. We can just cover them and glow in the dark algae.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Would be significantly safer. I don't
Yeah.
know what a lyrium high goat would do. I think probably prophecy damage, at least.
See, that
Poop
may be good for
everywhere.
us.
Just
Sorry.
the poop.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Um,
everywhere.
Property damage might be good. They might go, oh no, cat temple, castle, whatever it is.
Griffin, is
We've
there any
seriously discussing this.
Griffin? Are there any ghost stories or any things Templars might be superstitious of that we could prey on? Or, I mean, anything specific to Wycombe? Like I know Ferelden has certain like woman in white imagery of like ghost women near lakes and things like that. But
Yeah, there's definitely a healthy amount of ghost stories in the area, given that it was ravaged rather horribly by the Fourth Blight. So I guess you could play on that. Yeah, I think honestly, I think the plan sounds pretty solid. You don't need to give the goats things to make them suddenly start rampaging everywhere. Just get that dog of yours to, bark, bark.
What if
It'll-
they're fainting
They will.
goats?
They will run away.
No.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm sure they're
Oh,
fine. I'm sure they're not
then-
fainting.
Wait a minute.
Hard
This is
in,
a good
and
idea.
then loud noise, and then they'll all faint, and then the Templars can't get out of the place where they're in because they can't stuff.
There's just a pile of
Me?
fainted goats in front of the door.
And you laughed before. It was a very good idea. And
Yeah.
I think Genevieve is actually trying to make everybody laugh. So
Yeah.
little
Actually,
lucky.
Eviana is taking this seriously because she has an idea.
It's not a bad plan.
If we
Eviana.
start having things where things start like falling down, like we can start making it seem like something is going on. The goats start fainting when they aren't normally fainting goats, like switching things out like that, adding this unease that actually could really work to our advantage. I mean,
Could put some black tar or a similar substance on them, give the sense that they're succumbing to the blight. Again, we can put a bunch of muck on their coats and stuff, and like if this is an area that's particularly frightened of the blight, then suggesting that there are blighted animals going around that might infect people or their livestock could maybe work.
Yeah.
And if
I could
least we
also-
get them to go that. Oh, go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I could also make some skeletons move if we need to.
That would be quite scary.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
Time out, though. Time out. On top of all of the live goats that are freaking out,
You want to
what
put
if we
on top
found
of it?
goat skeletons on top of that?
Oh, that
Maybe-
might be a bit cruel to
Oh.
those goats.
No, what if we had like just the snakes or like mice, that make a lot of noise when they go into the ground, It's way worse you hear it, but you don't see it.
We're about to create a new urban legend in Wycombe.
It's gonna be like the goat plague of like Dragon 967.
See? And like so we will go down in history and we will not even be mentioned. Never seen.
It's
not
true,
heard,
but the thing is
but
we
we
know.
will know.
We will
Mhm.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
mean, if-
even go ahead. No, I was just going to say I think even the choir of the silence might hear about it, and Shauna will be so proud of us. She'll know that we did it.
Yeah, something impactful would be good. And getting, I mean, perhaps if you're going to be acquiring goats, you could get whoever it is that works with the goats to be like, the goat handler of the group, because
Mhm.
they're allies in this.
Oh, and maybe we help them by like giving them lessons on how to scream, how they do in those scary plays, and and then you gotta really sell it,
Teaching goats how to scream.
No, the handler.
Oh, the handler, right?
So if we do it to the goats too, that'd be very funny.
Sheet over their head, covered in muck, so they too look like a
Oh,
shambling.
No. If they run at them and go, "Oh my God, my gods! Oh, Maker, please! Oh, something save them!" The antis.
Okay,
of-
so in addition to the set supervisor, we're gonna need a director of photography. We're gonna need like
Lighting and special
See, you
effects.
totally understand what I mean.
a green screen. Yeah, we can also find non-magical ways to create smoke. It's a pretty common apostate trick. To like, it's something we borrowed from traveling players. Like, if we set up a barrel with some herbs that burn long and slow, we can create a bit of a smoky, even sulfuric, for that distinctive demon smell.
Mhm.
And if we use the skeletons like one night coming out of the forest, if we do find glowing algae and things, if we can find old decayed helmets, just hang them in the tree line with some of that algae to look like eyes in the forest.
Mhm.
Wait,
That's
hang on.
smart.
Sorry, everyone. I just need to, just for my own sanity, I just need to check. I thought that I had joined like a kind of rebel mage group. Is this actually a traveling theatre group? Did I sign up with the wrong crew?
It can be
Amazon
both.
branch is the extracurricular club of the Rebel Mages.
Also,
I
there is a
have-
true line between
Oh.
this.
I've never
Honestly, they're
seen
about
a
the
play
same.
before.
Huh, fair enough.
Craig,
Well, I think we might be about to make one.
Yes, Craig.
We're also coastal here, and a lot of the times har will roll in off the sea. So maybe we could wait until there's har, and then it naturally is going to create a kind of spooky foggy atmosphere, and then it'll help with the effect, especially if things are glowing.
Perfect.
And then
I
put the
love
sound down.
this. And then honestly,
I'm sorry.
do
There's
think we could
horror.
get someone.
There's
Horror.
horror.
Sorry, is that a Starkhaven word? He looks at
Yes, it's
Like both Val and Theowen are trying
Yeah, I
to
get
like.
you, I
What
get
are you
you.
talking
Do you mean
about?
whore as in
Uh,
HOAR?
I was
It's
I
a
don't
imagining
know what that
smoke
word
rolling
means.
in and
sorry.
haze.
No, it's a fog that rolls in off.
Yeah,
the sea.
fog, haze. Mhm.
Oh, why didn't you just say fog?
I don't know. I'm a little closer to home now, and I guess it's just starting to come out.
Aw,
Clegg,
I
it was a
like
very
it.
good idea. Good job.
And a new word to add to my list.
Yep.
And actually, this is good. Clegg, no, you need to
Oh.
teach us the vernacular so that we can meld in
Right. Oh, for Starkhaven.
as we go on. Yes.
How
Now,
do we roll our R's?
oh goodness gracious. Anyway, so I do have one last thing. You, Maddie, you gave me a very good idea on this. I do think we should get the Godfather to be on our side for a very specific reason. They yell for the Templars to help. Because if they can draw the Templars away, and then they just see, natural phenomenon, they won't suspect that mages had anything to do with it.
I should point out that by Chantry law, if you are discovered to be or suspected of being an accomplice to mages, Templars have the
Mhm.
right to execute you on sight. So if we
Yes.
do enlist this herder, we will be risking their life.
But that's why I say maybe we don't do magical things. Like Clegg suggested,
But
we use the
even if
haze that naturally happens.
Even if we do it naturally, if the Templars suspect that magic has been done, they are allowed to, at will, without referring to any higher authority, on the spot, kill that person.
That is up for them to decide if they want to or not. We can't make that happen.
I look at all of our men. Which one looks the most like a goat herder?
Craig, right? Surely Craig.
Well, I don't know. Some of them have.
I would say Reagan, actually.
qualities. Yeah,
but-
Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I don't imagine goat herders being giant and like muscular necessarily. So
You gotta lift a lot of goats.
Yes. Craig looks confused about whether or not you were trying to imply that he's big and muscular.
I assume he is he not? Oh,
You
sorry.
know, for a 20-year-old.
20-year-old can start to fill out a little. He's got broad shoulders, but no, he's a little weedy. He was just a recruit.
It's like Matty jerks her thumb at Harry and it's like, okay, so they're the only one who like definitely couldn't play the part of a goat herder. We're all agreed on that at least, right? Like, yeah, clearly.
Probably,
obviously.
yes.
Harry will salute you. But Reagan will give a tired nod.
Well, and I'm hoping, honestly, if we use someone from the area, they will recognize him.
That would be the best option.
But again, we cannot make them collect,
Of course.
and yes.
We need to see if any locals would want to be in our cause and what they may have ideas for. We're new here. They may know what makes that base tick.
We should find the local mages' rights group.
Yeah.
Does every place have one?
Right now, technically all mages are part of difficult times. I think Reagan will kind of you see him lean in and was like quietly whisper, like talking while you guys are discussing with Griffin, and then put his hand up as well. The boys are being polite. Me and Griffin can like dress up and be goat herders, but like running away from recruits that have been blighted, terrified that they're attacking us. But have something to like lure them in to follow us.
My only concern is that if things do go bad, go bad, that the warriors need to be with the mages. Now, I know that Clegg is incredibly capable, and Griffin has more experience. So As long as one of them is with the mages, I personally will feel a little better.
Maddie gets kind of a wicked look in her eye and is like, I can help with costuming for Reagan and Griffin for this goat herders thing. Maybe we just see who the outfit fits better. Maybe we could get Aviana and Genevieve to kind of give us a second opinion on how that works.
A little fashion show.
Can I do a perception check on her?
Yeah. Sure.
I guess empathy. Sorry,
Empathy, yeah.
empathy. Yeah. I can tell when people are up to something. So it's not great. It's 12.
I can do deception.
Yes, you can.
It
I
may
will roll
work, who
against you
knows?
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like it's just an honest, genuine suggestion.
Eviana's in planning mode. I think that went right over her head.
You're like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever you need.
Darn, I should have done the perception check on the boys. That's okay.
Mhm.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I will say I do want to still hear the, local chatter and see what they, believe. See if they even like the Templars. They may hate them. They may be terrible Templars. I mean, we all know Templars are terrible, but they may already had a bad opinion of them.
Second question. When are we supposed to establish the nobility aspect here? I can't quite remember.
Honestly, in my opinion, I would say start it now. And the only reason is this is a big port. It's the biggest port close by. And little seed,
Great. Big poofy dress.
You don't
I
have to
can-
trust the pot, just speak the pot and then get the word out. Yes, Phil.
I was going to say I can take that position if Aviana does not want to. My family
What
has
we-
enough sway.
I'll say what we could do is a lot of nobles will trade together. So you could do it together. And, you always have companions. Oh, we travel together. That kind of thing.
I think we also might need to decide if this is going to be a all-in-one night sort of thing with the Templars, or if we are, how do they say, building tension? If they get scared over multiple nights, it's...
I don't know. Honestly, I think we should go hard and fast and get in and get out. Don't give them time to recover.
Yeah, we need information first, and we can change things as we go.
Yes, so maybe quiet. Oh, look, there's a new noble in town. Get information. Not maybe tonight, but maybe tomorrow night. We hit him hard and fast and we get the hell out.
Okay. I may need some help with corsetry. Great.
At least we don't have to tight lace you.
Craig is going to raise his hand again.
Yep.
Yes, Craig.
If we need a story for why you're traveling to Starkhaven specifically, I'm happy to pose as a Starkhaven noble or a spouse. Whatever you
Excellent.
want.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay. I don't think I look particularly noble, but I sound the part in terms of
My
being
boy,
noble.
we can get clothes. We can do stuff with it. It'll be fine.
You don't have to do anything.
All right. Okay, everybody. It sounds like we have a few approaches to what we are planning on doing. Some of us are going to be trying to emphasize our nobility. Some people are out looking for information from locals. I know that Matty is planning on doing her, going fade scan mode. It's like Charles Xavier going into Cerebro. Very good. Okay. We can start with our information gathering. Is it just Jen? Do we want, is it multiple people. I know you're wanting to go and see if you can find locals. And I know Flora's wanting to do something similar. So the two of you could always go and tag team
Out
it.
of the boys, is there anyone of high perception?
Hui. Harry's probably your highest, actually.
Oh, Flo, hi. How about you go scour the city, see if you hear any chatter and whatever you want to do, Flo. Have fun.
I'd like to think that laugh was very much.
Yes. I want Jen, like hers would probably be a little higher pitched, but it definitely probably sounds similar to it.
Goodness.
I think Flora's just staring daggers. Is that very much that this is going to come back and bite your ass later?
Yeah.
Look.
Oh,
That's
she has already
exhausting.
turned around
Yeah.
and looking at you. I'm
Okay.
kidding, Flo. Do you want me to go with you? We just need people who can hear and obtain information. Also, we're probably not close enough to find a herder to bargain with, but maybe I should do that part.
You do realize, Genevieve, you are asking Hari to actively go around a bunch of mages. More than he already does.
Where are you going?
To find where all the mages hide in the city and see what they
That is
have.
not what I was doing. No. I want to hear the locals. I want to hear the culture, you know? How do we blend in without causing any ruckus?
And you go have fun with Hari.
Sure. Come on, handsome boy. We go.
Okay. He stands up and you see him going through his bag, and he just looks like he's wearing. He always dresses well, you know, like he's one of those like just well dressed. It's not like stuffy, fancy things, but it's just well cut. And you see him slowly arming himself again, and he does not look armed. These are several hidden, very hidden blades. And eventually cracks his knuckles and then comes to join you.
Are you ready?
Yep. Are you?
Always.
And he'll walk out the door.
And that's the thing. I don't think she's as comfortable with Hari, or well, honestly, she's pretty much comfortable anywhere. But I think, would she pick on him?
Two rogues together.
I know, like, honestly, nah, she wouldn't, because she was gonna be like, take his arm, like she does to Askan, but probably not.
Yeah.
Please pick on Hari.
That's the thing. Like, me personally wants to. Jen, I don't think she would.
This man needs to be bullied just a little bit.
We'll see how the conversation goes.
I don't want to fix him. I want to make him worse.
I want to bring him down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you are able to go and start to look out through the locals. If you can just do me a general perception roll with a focus, if you have it, that you feel might apply.
Please remind me. Perception is communication, cunning. Oh no, it's just perception.
It's its own thing, yeah. So like you can have searching, seeing.
I do have searching, yeah.
Tracking. There's certain types of cunning that could, depending on what you're looking for, that you can also roll into it. But
no, I got searching. We'll go with that.
Okay.
15.
Nice. Okay, so you're doing the rounds, and you're keeping an eye on things. He is also keeping an eye whenever something feels like it's interesting or spots that you may want to avoid. He'll kind of like give you the heads up if you haven't noticed, and vice versa. It seems that the two of you are fairly evenly matched perception wise. You will see a couple things, and I will let you figure out how and when you want to address these things. You will get to a spot where it's one of those like slightly rougher taverns, where people tend to be drinking that you're going to want to hear the conversations of, because you're going to get better stuff there than you might at a really hoity-toity place.
Right.
And in paying attention to a few things, you start to clock into this conversation. It is hushed, so you have to be very careful about how you're doing it. But Harry is going to like position himself in such a way that you're able to get an advantageous area to listen in, and it looks fairly natural.
Yeah.
So he'll wingman you in this, and it's two dark-haired elves. One seems to be male, one seems to be female, and you can hear them muttering in a conspiratorial fashion, and it's difficult to make out the entirety of what they're saying, but you do hear the word stronghold being said, which is immediately going to like ping on your radar. Another thing you will have noticed on the approach to this area is you see, and you know this when you're in the busier towns. It was an area where it's sort of like the rookery, if you will, where a lot of the central ravens come in, and then there's people who process the stuff that will come in, and the people that tend to linger in this area. And you also pay attention to the people and not just the fact that it is the rookery, is there are a lot of people, especially if they work like information brokering, who will just be hanging around, and then if people speak about what they've been receiving message wise, or if they're able to look at things secretly, or like if something's read and then put in a bin, they'll go and fish it. So like there's a lot of ways of gathering information there. So there's people, but also ravens. So just put that out. Two things you can bite on. What would you like to bite?
So if we're already sitting here listening to them, Genevieve will very quietly say to Hari, just sorry, like just a quick apology, and just like move his hair behind his ear, and I think everyone around them would hear like a flirty little like laugh and shit like that.
He's gonna lean into it and laugh back and give you a very flirty look, but you know.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to get myself physically closer to be able to hear them. But you know, we're just chatting. It's fine. This is sweet.
He's playing the part.
And, yeah, and you look like nice tonight. Just kind of like lean over and like, you know, whisper each other's ear. My ears are now pointing to them. Yeah. So I want to hear. And also, while I'm leaning closer, if I can see, do they have any kind of marks of like group association on them? That two elves. And actually, for anyone in the bar too.
Yeah. You do have. Is it heraldry?
I do.
In cunning. You want to roll that?
Yeah.
In terms of official looking marks.
Yeah, I just want to see, you know, what's the playing field here? What do we have to be scared of? Yeah. Oh, that's bad. 10. It's not great. Oh my god, look at those. What? Get out.
That's a triple.
Horrible.
Even worse than Snake Eyes.
Oh.
Not a mage. One Eye Snake. You.
Well, it's like, this is my like one of my main skills. It's my +5.
It is, you
That's
know,
rough.
And you know, we out here doing our best, and that +7 has not helped. There's no marking. It's a fairly busy pub, but because this is a slightly rougher tavern, there isn't a lot of people who would have heraldry or like markings or officials to be wearing. The elves don't seem to either. They just are dressed.
Okay.
He is dressed in fairly simple but dark clothing, and she has on leather armor. It doesn't look like it's, you know, fancy pants, expensive stuff, nor anything that is carrying any sort of emblem on it, but is wearing armor.
Does that kind of imply something to me at all? Like the fact that they have no markings whatsoever?
Now for the 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I hear anything of their conversation getting closer, like any more than just stronghold?
Not necessarily. I will let you roll again. Now that you're focused in, I'll allow you to add a +2 because you're leaning it. You're using an axe to cover getting a little closer.
Yeah. But and that's the thing. I'm not trying to do heraldry. I'm just trying to hear the conversation.
Yes, yes.
That's just perception,
It's
straight?
perception, yeah. Well, it's search, but a focus if you
Searching?
have it, you feel that as well. Maybe not. Actually, not searching.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like searching fit.
This is hearing, so it is just perception, but you'll get your +2.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Thank you. 17 and +2.
Nice. It is bits and pieces, but you come to understand that they are talking about the Templar stronghold, and he seems to be cautioning her about dangers. And she, I guess the main thing you will hear her saying, and she definitely has a local accent, I would say, is that she would gladly lay down her life.
Oh, I'm so
And
tempted
then-
for her to go, how gladly.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do that,
uh,
bro.
one of the last things that she will say before he makes a kind of grim sound and they sit drinking for a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, and he does not have a local accent.
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
It's
I'm
just
sorry. Okay.
he's the one that you're getting the most clear sentences out of. He's perhaps
Gotcha.
speaking a little quieter.
I will nuzzle into Hari's face a little bit and just we may have someone who might help us. And then we'll lean back and just, but maybe, my dear, as much as I'm enjoying this very comfortable place, and she's saying this out loud,
Yeah.
I do have some letters to send. If you want to go with me.
I can go with you. Sure.
You don't have to.
Ah.
And then she'll get out and like offer like,
Yeah.
give me your arm. Yeah.
He is going to grin at you as you say that, and he says, "As tempted it is to sit here because I do enjoy watching you leave. I'll come with you." And he'll stand up.
You are very naughty. She will go out the door with him.
He'll linger. He'll like walk out until they feel like they're out of view, and then linger, and then lean back against the wall and tip his head towards the bar. Do they need tailed?
One more time. I didn't hear the last part.
Do they need tailed?
Oh. How far away is the rookery?
Not terribly far.
I think in a like giggle fest of we're just so cute and get to his ear again. I think we do watch for her specifically, but she will probably come out soon, and we will follow after.
Okay.
I want to know who she is part of, what she's a part of, and if she is so, eager, we might be able to use that.
All right.
Leans away, just like slap, that really girly like little arm slap. Oh,
Yeah.
You just look so nice. Everyone's staring at you. It's making me jealous. And then like we'll grab his arm and walk away to the rookery.
Okay. Yeah. So he can follow you. We will come back to the rookery in a second.
Yes.
Team, we're getting ready to be nobles. How are you going to prepare? Did you bring stuff with you? Are you going to need to go and acquire some things?
I did bring a dress from back when I was a noble, to like have it work. I would definitely go help Floor if they needed help with acquiring something, though.
I think Floor probably would at least would have kept like the outer layer of their finer robes that probably have some of like the heraldry of the Aeneas family stitched into them. They would probably have to go and like find like a base set. So it's probably a lot of like creams and like light blues, something you would never see them in.
So you can go shopping for that. Well, maybe while you're out looking for mages. Okay. So the pair of you can go together with that. Should you wish? as you head out and start to look around the town, there's multiple shops here, so you're able to get what you need fairly easy. Because it is a port, and also it is kind of, you know, one of the port towns that is a direct route from like Antiva and Ravane down through to everywhere else. Like it's there's a lot of trade that goes on here, so it's easy enough to pick up those bits and pieces and anything extra that you may see Aviana to be like, actually this would go really nice with this, and maybe we could use this just to what we're traveling on. You can do that. Floor. You were heading to where you feel mages may congregate, correct?
Yes, probably the closest thing they probably have to like a low town or something.
Yeah. Okay. You can have a bit of a search. Can you just roll a perception roll for me while you're doing that?
Of course.
It's like more rolling today than we have there in a few sessions. I love it.
No.
Okay, you are trying to find mages, or at least where you think people of that ilk might linger, and because you have that sort of sensitivity to mages, you would be able to notice them. And as you're looking around, you find yourself incredibly distracted. It is up to you how distracted this sensory situation is for you. But while you're standing in the middle of a sort of, it's one of the minor, because a really big city doesn't just have like one, like this is the square or this is the market. There's usually a couple little offshoots, especially if there's different class levels in a city. And there's multiple people, and you get that little tingling sensation. Aviana would too, when a mage is nearby. And then you get a sort of overwhelming scent, and you know it's not an actual scent in your nose because this city has a lot of smell. So like there's a whole smellscape to the city. Love a city smellscape. It's almost like this is your other senses, your higher senses, the mage senses. A smell of oranges.
I mean, with a roll like that,
Mm-hmm.
they would.
You're just very distracted by this sensation and that smell, and it seems to trigger perhaps memories or old sensations or feelings, and you're just a little distracted. You look a little lost in the sauce for a moment. Well, I'll be honest, like, you know, I can't see it.
Like Aviana probably just keeps walking, and Floor has kind of like rooted themselves and is looking for the origin of this.
Yeah. As you turn around, you're gonna see a couple things. Things that maybe you were not expecting to see. You can see a person, fairly tall, human, male, that is wearing, it looks like guard attire, but it is very specifically of Tevinter design. And you actually see on his chest piece the symbol of the Aeneas family. And that is like shocking enough. And it isn't until you look like behind him, just as he shifts out of view and maybe like turns his head and just moves back a little bit, and you see past him. You're pretty sure that's Quintus. Which should not be the case, should not be possible, should not be here on Wycombe.
Floor is just ghost white.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If I didn't notice Floor with me after a little bit of a time, I think
Yeah.
Eviana will double back.
The good thing about having as a mage who has friends who are mages is that finding each other in crowds is just that little bit easier because you follow your ping on the Fade radar, basically. You can see Floor standing fairly stock still, I would say. Looking like seeing a ghost.
Eviana will like gently approach and just say, "Hey, you okay?"
I think Aviana just like presence would shock Floor out of it, and if they look back, is that still there, or if it's still there, they're going after.
Mhm.
Like Floor would just break out into a run, trying to follow.
Okay. You can see they're not necessarily moving very fast. So if you're trying to follow, it's fairly easy to do. I'm not going to necessarily make you roll dexterity because it is implied because it's quite busy that it's difficult to do.
I have running as a skill.
Oh, then who am I to stop you using that skill? Yeah, roll for running. 13's still a pass. You're not necessarily chasing people down, which may
No.
have been a little harder, but running up to them, you're able to do it with a few little, dodge and dives, and Afiana's just left being like, Flora, yeah.
I'll try and catch up, but I am not good at running, but she will sprint. If I see a mage just sprinting towards someone, I'm like, this isn't good, buddy
Yeah.
system.
Normally we run away from things. Why are you running at something? Just kill Bill Siren. Okay. So you can follow behind. I would say, it's a little tricky. If you have a running focus, feel free to roll running.
No, I don't have a running focus.
No, okay. Yeah, it'll take you a little bit. You perhaps are just used to being a little more careful about yourself in case of bumping into people. So you will get there eventually. Floor will get perhaps a moment or two prior to you catching up.
And I will
Eventually,
give space. I just want to be
okay.
there in case things go down.
Yes, understood. You're ready to wingman this situation. An entirely different type of wingman going on. Flo, you're able to kind of run up to them when it becomes clear that you are running at these people. The guard is going to just see fast approach and go into guard mode, and will immediately they have what's essentially like a glaive with a big wicked Tevinter blade on the end of it, and just sort of like puts it down in front of Quintus to stop your approach in case you were coming to harm him. How are you approaching the situation? What do you do? What do you say? What are you thinking? What's going on, Flora?
Just to make sure, we are talking about Quintus and not Cicero.
Quintus, yes.
I'm just making sure because
Worth checking, check in about that.
I think Floor would just kind of draw themselves up.
Mm.
There's that very haughty look on their face that was present on the ship a few days ago. I've been gone a few years, but you should know me well enough to stand down.
And it happened all in a flash to this happening. You suddenly, on a quick approach, the people around you are kind of doing like, oh, people are running in a square. Normally people are like, what's happening? What's going on? Should I be scared? It's a general gaggle murmuring of worried. The guard does the instinctive stance, and then as you kind of approach, and then it becomes clear who you are, and the comment, both of them seem to react. The guard conflicted for a second, will actually, the shoulders and the hands will relax a little. The weapon still remains a physical barrier currently, but is not presenting as threatening or defensive at you. And Quintus looks wide-eyed, a whole host of emotions passing. You know, when you look at someone, you're like, wow, there's like 8 separate things going on in your head right now. Oh, you're here. What are you doing? I'm glad we found you. We've been looking for you.
You're
And the
here.
guard is just the guard like eyes the both of you and then will slowly lift the weapon up.
And Flora's gonna look at the guard and probably look at the crowd that they've made, and I feel like I should be asking you the same question.
Mm-hmm. We're going to bring you home. And you can see, roll me a perception empathy, but I'm giving you a +2 because this is Quintus and I feel like you understand his expressions pretty well. And while you're doing that, to describe, we describe the tall human Quintus. Now that we don't have the shock factor of just dropping that name on Alice, is a average for an elven man with blonde hair who is currently wearing robes which, to many people, especially people in this sort of area of Wycombe, might still think that they're fancy robes, but to people who understand Tevinter well, these are the robes of a slave. It is part of the household, but still carries the mark of your family's home on it. For an empathy for 12,
14, because I don't know how to add an extra 2.
True. 14, no, you're correct. 14 is good, 14 is better. He is looking, there's an immediate it's a mix of relief and fear and nervousness. And you see, although he's not obviously doing it, there's the occasional slight side eye at this person beside him.
As far as I'm aware, I've not been requested back home in some time, and I have my own business here, but we can talk.
Okay.
And
Good.
I do have a companion, and we have some purchases to make, and you know how that is, so you can meet us. And Flora would probably rattle off a name at the bar close to where they're staying. And
Sure. Okay. We can go there. And looks up at the guard who gives a nod to him. Great. Okay. How long will you need?
my business, who knows? I don't think that's a concern of, and Flora will mostly address this at the guard. I don't think it's a concern of how long I will be. After all, my business, and you have no place to question that.
The guard nods his head. As you say. We will see you there then.
Yes, you will. Be on time. I'm not particularly impressed with the quality of escorts that my family has hired, and they'll be sure to be aware of that.
I'm sure you will. Come on then. And you see him like grab the top of Quintus's arm and just start to like direct him through the crowd.
I think as soon as they're out of eyeshot, just floor deflates, and I think at any point, Aviana, you would have noticed them shaking, and it just gets worse. And
Aviana will like kind of gently and slowly come up to you, Floor, and just like take their arm to like offer support of like you don't have to stand alone on this, and to help guide wherever you need to go to take a minute, because I'm sure you don't want to talk about it right in the marketplace. So she's going to help assist in whatever you need, no questions asked, unless you ask them yourself.
just trying to get the rest of what they need, and a little bit go. Mage is a little out of their mind at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're searching for people in the city that have magic. For the most part, goes unanswered. There's not many. You reckon it either means that there really aren't any here right now, or they are not inside the city itself. There is some things that you can recollect that at the moment, with the Navaran Cord removed, and now Templars and the Seekers have detached themselves from the Chantry and are going a little maverick. All mages are now apostates. All mages are in danger, and large cities where there may be presences, especially somewhere this close to a Templar stronghold, there doesn't appear to be any left if they were here, which can imply several things. But you're able to get the last of your bits and pieces, and then maybe eventually just be like, we need to go decompress. Before we do the scan with Matty, Theowen, what do you plan on trying? Is there anything that you plan on achieving in this time? You were baking cookies, I think. Val. There you go. Yeah, it's you. You're muted, friend.
Sorry, I just associated super hard.
You are quite okay.
I was on Reddit reading something about my favorite book. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question?
Is there anything that Theowen is up to currently?
Oh, yeah, assuming she employed her ex-Templar bestie into... so with the baking, I'm assuming she doesn't necessarily have access to like the kitchen, but that's okay because she's not going to go with cookies. She's going to go with scones. And here's the thing about scones. You can make scones in a cast iron skillet over an open fire. And that's... Yeah. So what she's going to do is she's going to test a recipe without the laxative first.
Yeah.
She has to make sure that it's delicious. And that's what she's doing in the fireplace. Or the wood that probably has like a stove, like a wooden stove or whatever in there. And that's what she's doing. And then she's going to look over at Craig, assuming Craig is just staring at her because he does that. Sure. And be like, so, what were you gossiping about with the boys?
Gossiping? I don't think we were gossiping.
Okay, well, what were you talking about?
Oh, well, they were mostly just taking turns talking about like stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Well, Griffin was telling us about how he, well, he was telling us a lot about Wycombe of the Blight, and then started to lament a little bit and get kind of sad that what he thought he had kind of dreamed for his life might not actually be what he wants for his life, and it's difficult to, what was the word he used, reconcile with that. It's a good word, I suppose. I should start using it more often. And so we were just kind of helping comfort him through that. It was kind of nice, you know? Like, I don't often... Most of the other guys that I hung around with were either, like, the people that I grew up on the streets with, and then you don't really talk about your feelings with them when we were kids. And then I was around other Templar recruits, and the things they were talking about it's really boring. But nobody really, like, just spoke about their feelings, I guess. It was nice to just sit and talk about feelings. I did some as well. It was kind of nice.
You talked about your feelings with the boys? That's so cute.
Thanks.
You're welcome. But what did Reagan say after I left?
Oh. Well, it didn't look like he was going to say anything to begin with, and then Griffin was mostly just really amused, and then they kind of spoke about stuff, their feelings about people and things.
Okay.
I don't know if I should share. Like, that's not my those aren't my things to.
I'm not gonna
share.
tell anyone.
Well,
I mean, unless it's about Aviana, because clearly I'm invested in that.
Oh. Well, yeah, they were speaking about their feelings.
About girls?
Yes.
Y'all talked about girls?
Yes.
Did you talk about girls?
Kind of.
Cool. Eat the stone.
Okay. Or it's like eating his feelings. These are very good. I'm going to need to drink, and then just like we'll eat a lot to keep his mouth busy so that you can't keep making him talk.
She's like sitting like across from him, like her hands are like just in, like her knees are together. They're not crossed. They're just like together, and like her hands are in her lap, and she's like leaning in, like. You were talking about girls?
Yep.
What girls?
Well, they were talking about
I'm asking about what girls you were talking about.
Oh, me? Well,
are you afraid I'm going to give her a note?
No. I'm not afraid you're going to give her a note.
Okay.
There's not many people who like want to talk to me or be nice to me or what have you, so like it's not like there's a deep pool of people to talk about.
So it's a shallow pool.
Of one, yeah.
There's one girl?
Yeah.
Okay. She sits back, like her hands are gripping her knees now.
Uh-huh.
And then she hands him a piece of paper.
He opens it.
Do you like me? Yes. Check yes or no.
Oh.
She's taking her own advice here.
Yeah.
She could die tomorrow.
Yep.
Or be possessed, so she has to know.
He takes something and then like
reckless behavior.
Writing. And you see him like writing and writing.
Why are you writing? It's a check. Okay.
Writing. Turns it over. Writing. writing.
So she like looks underneath and she turns it over.
Hands it with his hands. Shh. And then folds it up tiny so that you can't really read anything, and then hands it back over.
Why did you write so much? And she opens it.
I had a lot to say. And you open it up, and it says, I have never had anyone care about me in my life. Because I don't even have family. And the first time anyone was genuinely kind to me and cared about me was you. And I don't think you realize how much that actually means to me. And it's really special, and it has helped me on days that have been incredibly difficult. And the answer is, of course, yes, you big dum-dum.
There's like there's like a like it's not checked in. The square is filled in.
Yeah. It's like it's the whole thing is Mm-hmm.
She folds up the paper and she looks up at him. She goes, "I knew it." Is that gonna make it harder for you? If you have to, you know.
Not necessarily, because if I have to do that, if it ever comes to that, it's not you, that is a demon who stole you from me, and so I will end it the way it deserves.
She gives a very like thoughtful, like couple of like nods.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "That's good." Because
but it's not.
If there is anything left of me in there, I would rather the person that does that is somebody who cares for me than somebody who doesn't. And then they can write epic poems about us.
Yeah. Lots of books about that.
Yeah. You should like take notes and send it to that Varric guy that writes his love stories. I bet he would make a really good, like really interesting version of this. That's better than, I mean, I'm not saying that this is bad. As she puts a scone in her mouth. But I just don't think we're very good writers. I can barely read.
I can't really read either. But
so you were just making up words when you were reading out loud to me?
No.
Okay.
I can. It's just I'm a little bit slow, and like writing feels different to reading. Because reading it's someone else's words, and then writing is I don't know. I'm not very
she stands up.
With words. Yep.
Yeah, she stands up while he's just staying and sitting down, and she just like kind of like hugs him like as he's sitting down.
He'll hug you back.
Pats his head.
I'm really glad we met each other.
Yeah. Maddie hates you.
Oh. That feels like a perfect little bombshell to end on. Spectacular. You hear sad puppy noise.
We don't know it's from Cloud or Craig.
Yeah. Maybe both. Both. Very good. Okay. We are in Wycombe, y'all. Party City.
Wow.
Yay!
It's great. I'm just giving you a reason to need to hit the drink, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for being along for the ride, everybody. As is always the case with Dragon Age, there's often a lot of feelings to be felt and silly shenanigans to enjoy. They pair very well together. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to do our outros before I tell you what is coming up for the channel. As for myself, I am Emmer Hamalu on the internet using she, they pronouns. I've been your storyteller today, where I stab some people in the heart consensually with love. In terms of where you can find me, you can see me back here tomorrow on Girls in These Roles for Riga Stars, where there's also some emotional emotions going on there. It's great. I play a nervous little bean called Nico. And on Tuesdays, you will see me on the transmissions for our next episode of my other Dragon Age story, which is called Blood and Lyrium, where they fought some Darkspawn. It's great. And then also hear me as the next episode of our podcast, Black Teeth, which is using the liminal system, and it is a folk horror game set in rural North Wales in the 70s, and it's great. I love it. So anywhere you get your podcast, you can check it out there. Other than that, where can we find you guys, my lovely players?
Well, hello. I am Torin. I have been playing Genevieve. And as far as where you can find me, I do have my own Twitch channel, Torin Talks Creativity, that I'm on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Otherwise, I'm pretty much at Girls Run These Worlds and then on Tuesdays with the transmissions. Playing lots of characters, doing lots of bad things.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everyone? I'm Val. You can find me everywhere at Valdranth. I played Theowen today. This is like the only stream that I am doing. However, I am entering next week into pre-production for the 3rd season of my Morphs in the Swamp, which is an Animorphs skin of Blades in the Dark that I run over on my channel. If you know anything about me, my 2 top favorite special interests are Final Fantasy VII and Animorphs. So that's happening. So pre-production. So within the month, you should see the premiere of that happening of season 3 for that, and I'm very excited because, yeah, and that's it. That's all you can see from me.
Fab.
Hi guys, I am Alice. Tonight I was playing Florineus. We're both gonna have to decompress after that. You can find me everywhere online at Alice Hart, or if the adult film star has stolen that username from me, like on Twitter, you can usually find me at Hellion Hart. My May is still a little up in the air, so I don't have anything to share just yet, but keep an eye out on social media to see where I am going to be next outside of here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary. My pronouns are she, her. I've been playing Eviana, our little blood mage, and her pronouns are she, her. Where you can find me online on the Hull site, you can find me at Nerd on Wheels 15, and everywhere else at the Nerd on Wheels. Coming up for me every other Monday, and it'll be this Monday. You can find me on Lost Caravan RPG for Lancer Hell's Gate, a Lancer RPG actual play. We are currently in investigation mode as a cult has attacked our group, and we need to figure out who's behind it. You can also find me every other Wednesday on Enchanting Sorcery Productions for Fandelver and Below, Halia's Harriers. It is a fun D&D 5e game. I'm playing a rogue cleric that found out who her deity is and is not okay. And this Tuesday, you can catch me for a special one-shot of Outgunned, a spy heist movie actual play. I am playing a Irish mob boss's daughter, and it's going to be a wild ride. That's all I've got.
Ella, my pronouns she, her. I was playing Maddie, her pronouns are she, her. You can find me on the internet at GEJWatts on whatever social media platform you feel like using. I make an audio drama called Camlan. It's a queer post-apocalyptic story where all folklore and legends came to life at once. We are coming up on our final episode, which will release the Monday after next. So it's the perfect time to catch up if you're the kind of person who likes to binge an audio drama series. So please do check it out. Other than that, I will be running a campaign on Girls Run These Worlds of a post-apocalyptic system called Rust, which is going to be very kind of like Mad Maxy kind of vibes, and I am really looking forward to it.
Very good. Excellent stuff all round. As for upcoming shows, we've got Mondays, as mentioned a couple times. We've got Auriga Stars tomorrow, which is great. Join the cast as they return to the high fantasy world of Auriga with Disaster Master Ultra Mirage. Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern. They've got a ship now. They just have to find a job and keep flying. Join storyteller Anya in a Firefly Into the Black game. Love everything about that. Love Anya. Love Firefly so much. And on Fridays, they've got episode 7 of the high fantasy, high tech, high flying Numenera adventure Erwin on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern with our own Angela and also Torrin as well. So do check those things out. Also, if you yourself are sitting there thinking, man, I love to tell stories, we are, there's a creator app that is open for June one-shots because it is Juneteenth and Pride all month long, which is very exciting. So they're looking for GMs with lived experience within those two categories of life to share their stories in one-shots celebrating our Black and LGBTQAI+ communities in the month of June. Find out more on the website, girlsruntheseworlds.com. Or I'm sure you can find some links as well on the socials. So you want to come and tell a story? This is an excellent place to tell your story. It is a safe and welcoming and loving community, so cannot recommend it more. We are going to be rating, so do hang in and give some emojis and love to the people that we are rating. We're rating the GR crew. So yeah, other than that, we will see you next week, everybody. Bye. Wave, wave, wave.